The online world was outraged by the choice of the lead.
Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster.
Her name is Rachel Zegler, an American actress and singer of Colombian and Polish descent.
I'm a narcissist.
General public did not know of her, has not heard her speak, sing, breathe, just pictures. The world was outraged because they did not think she was pretty. Let's get real. They thought she was ugly.
Rachel Zegler is the prime example of how you should never think that you're bigger than the project.
Rachel Zegler has officially crossed the line, and this time, there's no coming back. After weeks of backstage chaos, emotional breakdowns, and viral tantrums, the Evita cast has reportedly reached their limit. Instead of tiptoeing around the drama, they finally said what everyone's been thinking. We refuse to work with her. You heard that right.
Partner in crime and one of the most entitled.
I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Toxic.
I'm a narcissist.
Man-hating.
She's not gonna be safe with a prince.
Nasty. The last part, her words. Who single-handedly actually annoyed everyone so bad they skipped this mess. Well played.
Multiple insiders are now spilling tea from inside the theater, and it's worse than anyone imagined. Cast members allegedly banded together, stormed into a closed-door meeting, and told producers point blank, "It's her or us. This isn't diva behavior anymore. It's full-on rebellion." And while Rachel's team scrambles to spin the narrative, the truth is already leaking out. Secret rehearsals without her, replacements being trained, entire scenes reworked in real time. All because one lead actress couldn't keep it together.
Rachel, what's it like to be in a movie with Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu?
It's great. Okay? It's great. I'm honored. I don't know why I sound so angry right now. I'm honored. Am I a psychopath? No, I've been getting a lot of questions about how do I feel? I feel amazing. We start kind of soon and I'm just like...
This was supposed to be her big theater comeback. Instead, it's turning into a total career implosion, and what happens next might just be the most brutal twist yet. Because once your entire cast turns on you, there's no script that can save you.
It is the real beginning of my life as a young lady of America. Of America.
When Rachel Zegler was first cast as Eva Peron, it was billed as a career-defining move, a chance to silence her critics, a bold leap from Disney princess to Broadway royalty. And for a moment, it almost worked.
Well, Rachel was desperate to play Eva Peron. You know, it was her idea, and we saw an audition tape, and she was absolutely sensational. You know, she worked with our musical supervisor in New York on the material. Her versions of the songs were terrific.
The producers rolled out the red carpet. Social media lit up. Headlines praised her vocal range and fearless presence. Theater blogs called her casting-inspired, refreshing, the modern rebirth of Evita. Rachel, of course, wasted no time soaking in the hype, tweeting cryptic lyrics, posting dramatic selfies from rehearsals, and reminding everyone that this was the role she was born to play. But then, reality hit, and fast.
Why is she starring in the West End version of Evita? I don't understand it. Is what I would say if I had no taste. Rachel Zegler, oh my god. When are you guys gonna see how much of a powerhouse she is? I love Rachel Zegler so much. I just wanted to let you guys know that I will be sat front and center to see this icon slay Evita. Oh my god, I can't wait. I am gonna see it when it first opens. I already know that. I can't wait to see this diva. Oh my god!
Whispers started surfacing from behind the curtain, that rehearsals weren't going smoothly, that Rachel was showing up late, clashing with vocal coaches, rewriting her choreography, and allegedly complaining that Evita needs to feel more. Like a revolution, less like a musical. Some called it bold, others called it delusional.
I can't believe it. I very much had no interest in seeing Rachel Zegler in any movies heading into this. And watching this made me forget that I really don't like her as an actress.
All is forgiven with the Snow White controversy. Maybe I'm going to show up for it. I thought she was fantastic.
She was really...
The honeymoon didn't just end, it went up in flames. co-stars began noticing her energy shift. What started as passionate quickly turned controlling. Rumors say she argued with the choreographer over stage blocking, dismissed notes from the vocal director, and at one point allegedly stormed out mid-session, yelling, "You can't tell me how to play Eva. I am Eva." It was clear this wasn't the dream role anymore. It was a ticking time bomb, and every rehearsal brought it closer to detonation. But the cast, they weren't just sitting back and watching the explosion, they were getting ready to fight back. And what they did next would flip this production upside down.
Like, I'm the first to admit when I saw her interviews, I hated her. I was like, ew, how snide. Ugh, how condescending. And then I was like, well, wait, she's acting it up. They told her to do that. You can't tell me this young woman was cast in such an iconic role and went, thanks, I hate it. No, let's use our brains. We have been pushing girl boss, girl boss, girl boss, strong women, strong, strong, strong. We've been pushing that for so long. They tell her to give us that and we shit on her. I don't know, I just feel like that's so goddamn mean.
It started with eye rolls, side comments, whispers in the wings. But by week 3, the vibe inside Evita rehearsals had gone from tense to unbearable. Multiple cast members, some with years of stage experience, allegedly began referring to Rachel as Hurricane Zegler behind her back. Every day brought a new outburst, a new tantrum, or a fresh round of creative disagreements. Translation: screaming matches, ignored direction, and Rachel treating every rehearsal like her personal. Revolution, and it wasn't just the cast feeling the pressure.
Much ground that I never thought I would be able to cover, and that people think I'm doing poorly, and other people think I'm doing gracefully, and I don't think I'm doing it at all. So when I tell you that it's hard, I just mean to be inside my brain. That's hard.
Stagehands reportedly started rotating shifts to avoid working when Rachel was in the building. One assistant choreographer allegedly called her the most exhausting performer I've ever worked with. Even wardrobe staff weren't safe, with one leak claiming Rachel insisted on reworking her costume 5 different times, saying it didn't match her vision of Evita's feminist power arc. The worst part? Everyone was walking on eggshells.
Say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed on.
Rachel reportedly said, "If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online." People were terrified to correct her, terrified to speak up. One misstep, and you'd get a passive-aggressive glare mid-rehearsal. Or worse, Rachel allegedly calling you out loudly in front of the entire crew. According to one Backstage source, she turned every run-through into a battlefield. It wasn't about Eva, it was about Rachel. Her voice, her ego, her spotlight. That's when things started to shift.
Sorry. Rachel, you got time to sign some autographs for us, Rachel? Rachel, please. Rachel, you got time to sign some, Rachel? Hey, you on the way out?
A few cast members began taking notes, not just mental ones, but actual written logs of what they witnessed. Every outburst, every meltdown, every time she refused direction. Some even started filming rehearsal snippets just in case things got ugly. Spoiler, they did. The boiling point came during a full cast staging of A New Argentina. Rachel, reportedly frustrated with the blocking change, allegedly stopped mid-song, flung her hands up, and yelled, "I'm not doing this circus anymore." She stormed off the stage. Silence fell until someone in the ensemble finally muttered what everyone had been thinking. "She's gotta go!" And that's when the cast, tired, fed up, and completely over it, decided to act. Because if the production team wasn't going to handle it, the performers were ready to handle it themselves. What they did next would turn the entire show inside out. The moment didn't come with fireworks, no screaming, no threats, just a cold, calculated decision and a unified front the producers never saw coming. After the New Argentina breakdown, whispers turned into action. A small group, including lead ensemble members, supporting actors, and even a longtime vocal coach, allegedly requested a private meeting with the director. When that meeting was denied, they went higher. According to one insider, a written complaint was drafted and signed by nearly half the cast, outlining Rachel's behavior in brutal detail. It included dates, incidents, and direct quotes. One line reportedly read, "Rehearsals have become unsafe, unproductive, and entirely centered around one person's emotional instability. But the letter wasn't the bombshell. It was just the setup. The real drama came during an emergency meeting where cast reps confronted the director and producers face to face. Multiple witnesses claimed it was intense, calm voices, but loaded with tension. The message was simple. We will not share the stage with Rachel Zegler. This wasn't a complaint anymore. It was a line in the sand. According to leaked whispers, the producers were shocked. One allegedly responded, "You're asking us to fire our lead?" To which one cast member replied, "No, we're telling you we won't keep working if you don't." And suddenly, the power dynamic flipped. It wasn't just about one difficult star anymore. It was about the entire show collapsing from within. The producers were trapped. Keep Rachel and risk losing half the cast, or cut ties with the name headlining the whole production. What followed was 2 full days of closed rehearsals and schedule restructuring. But anyone paying attention knew what that really meant. Crisis mode? And while Rachel was allegedly nowhere to be seen, rehearsals reportedly continued without her. Stand-ins filled the spotlight, scenes were reworked, songs were reassigned. The message was clear. Whether officially fired or not, Rachel was out of the picture. And the cast? They weren't just reclaiming the stage, they were rewriting the entire production's future. But the producers weren't done playing defense. Their next move would raise even more eyebrows. The producers were officially backed into a corner, and every option looked bad. On one side, they had Rachel Zegler, the star with name recognition, tabloid buzz, and a major Hollywood fan base. On paper, she was still a draw, but behind the scenes, she was radioactive. The cast had turned, the crew was exhausted, and the directors were already rehearsing scenes without her. On the other side, they had a mutinous ensemble, loyal, professional, and, more importantly, ready to walk. Sources say the producers held a string of urgent meetings, some even involving executives from Rachel's agency and PR team. There were phone calls late into the night, attempts to calm the cast, and even a proposal to bring in a conflict mediator. One insider claimed someone floated the idea of turning the production into a dual lead format, essentially splitting the role of Eva between Rachel and an alternate to avoid further confrontation. That idea was immediately rejected by the cast. At one point, according to whispers, the creative director reportedly asked, "What if we delay the premiere?" To which someone shot back, "What if we delay it until she's gone?" The producers were losing control, and they knew it. That's when the rumors started. Rachel had been quietly suspended, not officially fired, but given time away from the production. Of course, there was no press release, no statement, just an eerie silence and Rachel's sudden disappearance from all rehearsals. Meanwhile, behind the curtain, a new name was being whispered, a talented understudy who had been patiently waiting in the wings. According to cast members, she stepped into rehearsals seamlessly, knew every line, hit every note, and most importantly, didn't throw tantrums between verses. Rehearsals picked up pace, morale skyrocketed, and the backstage energy flipped overnight. The producers started to see the bigger picture. A smooth production without Rachel might be better than a chaotic one with her, even if that meant disappointing her fans or bracing for a headline storm. But while the team scrambled to cover their tracks, the outside world started noticing. Rachel's absence didn't go unnoticed, and social media was about to erupt. It didn't take long for the internet to catch on. One moment, Rachel Zegler was spamming rehearsal selfies and cryptic quotes about artistic integrity. The next, radio silence. No posts, no likes, no stories, just gone. Fans noticed. TikTok lit up first. Theater gossip accounts began dropping breadcrumbs. Sources say Zegler is out at Evita. Rehearsals resumed without her. Today, a viral video with over 2 million views claimed Rachel was officially benched after a cast revolt, and the comments were brutal. They said, "Don't cry for me?" and meant it. Honestly, I'd pay double to see the understudy instead. You can't rewrite Eva Peron into a Tumblr girl boss and expect people to clap. Then came Twitter, or rather X, where hashtags like Mamba Justice for Evita and Your Zegler Out started trending. Some users mocked her downfall, others demanded transparency. A few diehard fans still defended her, calling the cast jealous or intimidated by her power. But the overwhelming sentiment? People were not surprised. Common threads turned into highlight reels of Rachel's past bad behavior. Clips from old. Interviews resurfaced, tweets where she shaded other actresses, and a photo where she once wore a crown with the caption, "They'll hate me for this too." The post was reposted hundreds of times with snarky replies like, "We do, congrats." Even fan pages began posting memes comparing the alleged new Evita actress to Rachel, and let's just say, the comments weren't kind. She's everything. Rachel thinks she is. This is what Eva Peron deserves. But the most savage part? The official Evita account, the one that had been boosting Rachel for weeks, suddenly went dark too. No tags, no photos, just generic promo material. And fans? They saw everything. Rachel's social silence, the cast blow-up, the theater's total rebrand. It wasn't just a PR cleanup, it looked like a total eraser. But if Rachel thought staying quiet would kill the rumors, she was dead wrong. Because what happened next didn't just confirm the drama, it exposed everything. By the time the dust settled, one thing was clear. Rachel Zegler was out. Whether anyone wanted to say it out loud or not, there was no press release, no dramatic farewell post, no backstage photo dump with a vague caption like "on to new things." Just silence, and in theater, silence this loud only means one thing. Someone got benched. Insiders now claim Rachel hasn't been seen at rehearsals in over 2 weeks. Her dressing room was cleared. Her name was allegedly removed from internal cast lists. Production meetings no longer include her. According to one cast member, the official program has already been updated with a different name next to the role of Eva Peron. Meanwhile, the show hasn't stopped moving. The new lead, whose identity is still being kept hush-hush, is reportedly crushing it in rehearsals. People are calling her disciplined, powerful, and refreshingly humble. Some say the entire vibe of the production has improved. Less chaos, more chemistry. And surprise, everyone actually seems to be enjoying themselves. As for Rachel, no new projects, no red carpets, no interviews, just digital silence, fan speculation, and a growing stack of unanswered questions. Did she quit? Was she fired? Is this just a break? The truth is, no one's confirming anything. But in the world of theater, when the lights stay off long enough, you don't need an official statement. The audience already knows how the act ends. And if Rachel's story wasn't over yet, she just missed her cue. For Rachel Zegler, the role of Eva Peron was more than just a job. It was a shot at redemption, a chance to shake off the Disney label, the podcast soundbites, the red carpet drama, and prove that she wasn't just internet famous, that she was real talent, that she belonged among theater royalty. But theater doesn't care about trending hashtags. It cares about presence, professionalism, and respect for the craft. And according to every leak, whisper, and backstage mutiny we've uncovered, Rachel brought none of that. She brought tension. She brought chaos. She brought main character energy to an ensemble-driven masterpiece, and the cast refused to carry that weight any longer. Let's not sugarcoat this. Rachel Zegler didn't get replaced. She got rejected by her own team, by her own peers, by the very people who wanted the show to succeed but could no longer pretend she wasn't the problem. And when that kind of rejection happens in theater, it sticks. This isn't Hollywood, where one powerful manager can spin a scandal into a comeback. This is theater, a world built on trust, timing, and the unspoken rule that no one is bigger than the show itself. And Rachel, she made it clear she thought she was the show. That kind of arrogance might fly at press junkets, but on stage, it's a career killer. And what's worse, the silence around her is louder than any scandal. No one's coming to her defense. Not her co-stars, not her producers, not even the usual PR warriors who jump in to reframe the narrative. It's just her, alone, watching as the role she once bragged about is now being mastered by someone else. Someone who isn't throwing tantrums, storming off stage, or demanding rewrites mid-song. Let's talk about that someone else. The new Evita, whoever she is already winning hearts. Theater insiders are calling her a natural fit, a discipline-first powerhouse, and most painfully, everything Rachel wasn't. Audiences who've seen preview footage are reportedly stunned by the difference. The cast is re-energized, the crew relieved, and the director quietly vindicated. It's like the production took a deep breath and finally exhaled. So where does that leave Rachel? No stage, no spotlight, no statement. She's not booked and busy. She's benched and invisible. Her social media has gone dark. Her team's gone quiet. The people who once praised her as the voice of a generation have moved on to someone who doesn't come with a backstage warning label. And let's be real, Rachel has burned through a lot of grace already. Snow White fans gone, Shazam buzz dead, Hunger Games hype drowned out by backlash. Now the theater community, arguably the most passionate, loyal, and vocal group in the entertainment world, wants nothing to do with her. Theater doesn't just forget, it remembers who ruined the vibe, who wasted people's time, who made art about themselves instead of the story. That's what Rachel Zegler did. She walked into a legacy role and treated it like a personal soapbox. She had the crown, she had the spotlight, she had the talent. But none of it mattered because in the end, it wasn't Rachel's voice that ruined Evita. It was her silence when it mattered most. No apology. No humility. Just another disappearing act wrapped in vague tweets and industry damage control. The show will go on without her, and unless something radically changes, Rachel's time on stage might be over for good. So, if you want more brutal breakdowns, leaked drama, and career meltdowns Hollywood won't talk about, make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned, because the Rachel Zegler saga might be finished on stage, but behind the scenes, it's just getting started.